edition of A Daily Stew. We're the Right Stew podcast. I am Paul Stewart.
And I'm Brian Wright. I'm glowing a little bit today, so I'm feeling good.
Is it a haze or a glow?
Probably more of a haze. I mean,
Okay.
it's Friday. We made it there, and yeah. So hopefully a haze is coming.
Okay. So big news. We're in the Triangle, Raleigh, North Carolina, that area. So really big news, even national news coming out of the Triangle. Bill Belichick was in town talking to the North Carolina Tar Heels about the vacant coaching position. So recently, Mac Brown was dismissed. Open position. Let's talk through some coaches. There's a lot going on. But Bill Belichick, here he is, the one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest coach of all time in the NFL. So, Brian, just what are your initial thoughts on Bill Belichick wearing the Carolina blue?
Well, I'm sure if you're a Carolina booster, somebody has anything to do with who's going to be the next head coach, and you give up 70 points to JMU, I'm sure your thought is, hey, let's get a defensive guy to not give up 70 points to JMU.
Yeah,
so that's kind of my initial thought.
There's defensive guys, and then there's Bill Belichick.
Right. I'm sure the thought was, hey, we can't give up 70 points to JMU. We've got athletes. They tend to get really good athletes all up and down the field. So I'm sure, they're like, hey, if he's interested in coaching, a lot of coaches don't make it longer than 5 years. Yeah, 74 clearly connects to the younger generation with, his girlfriend situation. I mean, there's clearly a connection to the youth, and that shouldn't be an issue. And then the flip side is, if he makes it 5 years, he's probably made it longer than a lot of NFL coaches. So age really isn't a factor. That's my
he's
thought.
72 years old, dating a 24-year-old. So yeah, good for him. Coached in the NFL for a long time as a defensive coordinator and clearly a head coach with the Patriots. Does it make sense for him to move to the college game? I mean, a lot of coaches are getting out now. Coach K and Roy, we talked about this the other day. They said they left the college game because of NIL now. There's so much going on. Is that something he wants to deal with as a 72-year-old?
Well, I think let me pose that to you, right? So if you've been coaching in the NFL, you've dealt with professionals.
Yeah.
Kind of been known to handle situations with an iron fist, get rid of guys early instead of really having to pay guys. Clearly, every year you're going to have to pay guys. What do you think? I mean, is that something you would want to step back into, Paul, if you're coaching and had all the success that he's had at the NFL level?
So with the Patriots, he was everything. GM, draft, coach. He had full autonomy. And similarly, that's what a head college coach is, right? You're on the recruiting trails. You're talking to all the players. You're building relationships with local and national high schools. And clearly, Carolina has a national appeal. But when you get to the NFL, you're locked into a contract. You sign a 1 year, 3 year, 5, whatever it is. I mean, they're typically a little longer or shorter in the NFL. But college, that NIL, that's year to year. And that's what a lot of these coaches say. I don't want to have to keep recruiting my kids while they're on campus. Maybe Belichick has that kind of sway where he says, look, if you're here, you're here. You're part of this family, this program, this team.
He feels like he'd be somebody that would – you get on campus, you're getting paid with NIL. Obviously, North Carolina's not paying probably what Alabama, Georgia, and any of these big SEC schools are, but you get on campus, and he feels like he would be prickly to play for, right? He would make you better, right? You would have – probably you would be a better player and maybe set yourself up for the NFL, but he feels like it would be times throughout your freshman year as a 19-year-old, not quite fully brain developed, that you would be like, dude, screw this. I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you got options now. I mean, so why do you think, Paul, he wants to do it? Or is this just a ploy, or what's your thoughts on that?
The reports were that he blew the Carolina people away. Yeah, sure. It's friggin' Bill Belichick. Of course. Who wouldn't, right? And so that makes all the sense in the world that he did really well in the whole interview process. I don't know if he really intends or wants to get into the college game, or if this is just a, hey, reminder, NFL coaches, here I am. If you don't want to lose me to, Carolina, let's start talking, because again, this is the time of year when you start to see some coaches. We saw the Bears coach a couple weeks ago get let go. When some people are on the hot seats, and you're starting to see that trend. So personally, that's what I think it was more of a just, hey, reminder, folks, I'm here if you need me. And
Yeah, yeah.
he's
No,
done
I
a great
agree. I
job
agree
with
100%.
done a great job with TV and radio, and as a kind of a personality, people really, and he's
He's really
engaging. So,
transitioned, right? I mean, he has transitioned really well from this kind of awkward interview guy where he was not going to give you anything of a soundbite to kind of a media darling.
yeah.
And yeah, it's he's done a really good job transitioning. There's no question on that.
Yeah. All right. So you've got a son who's playing middle school football right now. Yeah, we both hope that he continues to progress and grow and do great. Let's say he gets to be one of those top tier, like a 3, 4, 5-star recruit.
Let's hope for
Um,
two. We're hoping
yeah,
for two
we'll hope for 2.
or one.
Let's shoot for the moon, right? Um, and he has an opportunity, and let's say Belichick gets hired by Carolina as a father, and then as a parent of a potential recruit. Would you want to see him play for Belichick, or would you rather him go to somebody younger or just a different program? What are your thoughts on that if you had that opportunity?
Yeah, I think initially you would be intrigued, and I think any parent, especially if their kid plays defense, would be intrigued, and you would have those conversations. I think if you really put yourself in those shoes, and I've tried to, right, just as thinking through this potential question that you may have raised, but I think it's more, it comes down to money, right? What is North Carolina going to offer, and then how is he going to every kid who goes plays in college, I'd imagine at a D1 level, their dream is to go play in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
So you would imagine he would be able to help that, right? And if he's interested in you, he would be able to, hey, show you the path and know where you need to get to. So I think you're intrigued, but I don't know if it's any more than being intrigued. And I think you take that visit. But if you have other options for younger coaches, you would feel like some of that love to start with, but it's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies and hugs during practice. And there's going to be some. I mean, we saw how he treated Tom Brady. We saw how he treated all his great players. I don't see him treating a high school transitioning into college player that much better. And egos matter. And yeah, I just don't know that would be where I would send my son, right? Even if he was at, the great NC State, right? If he was at NC State, I think I would think the same thing. It wouldn't be like, this is I don't know if he makes the situation that much better. If he was going in and maybe if it was 10 years ago, honestly, 72 doesn't bother me because 5 years is kind of the coaching life.
Yeah.
Just his personality. You think about the guys that are successful now in college football. The guys that are successful now are 40s, 50s years old. But you think about Kirby Smart, you think about Texas coach, you think about all these different guys, and it doesn't feel like personality wise they match up. Now, style wise, it may not be a ton different, but I don't see them as, even Coach Deion Sanders out in Colorado. He feels, like he relates and that's a whole different mantra out there. I just don't know if he would be somebody that would appeal to an 18-year-old. Let's not take my son, for example, but a kid that's 16, 17 years old that has LSU options, has, Colorado, all these different options. I'm not sure he's taking anybody from those places unless money is really high up on the list.
Yeah. So I mean, scholarships will be net neutral, pretty much already are, right, for those kind of kids. But yeah, I think that it comes back to kind of NIL deals, and it's unfortunate that's the way, and it's really changed recruiting. Some schools are at a major disadvantage, and you mentioned UNC should be able to financially kind of be up there with anybody. They got a guy named Michael Jordan who's kind
Yeah,
of should be able to throw some money at him. Yeah, they've got
their endowment's extremely high for
yeah, they're doing okay
ACC
there, but
schools. Yeah.
I think from, like you said, from an X and O's perspective, I don't think there's anybody that's going to prepare you better for that side of the game. From hey, what do young people want to see now from a coach? I don't know if that's what they want to see. Again, neither of us know Belichick personally, right?
No,
Only
no.
from what we've seen and how he's interacted. But he's very much the old school type of coach that probably you and I grew up with.
Yes, my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that works, and maybe it does work. But I think you've got to have some clout, and clearly he has it. But here's what I would anticipate: like if he went to a UNC, probably a big jump, like year one, and maybe even a little, maintaining that year two. By year three, you're starting to see it go backwards. His players that have played for him seem to all respect him, but there were definitely times in the moment you get the vibe from Edelman and all these different guys that, if they had other options, especially as a 19, 20-year-old, and you could go maybe make the same money or more money somewhere else, they may have considered it, right?
But again, I think it comes down to so making money in college is one thing. Then are you truly trying to prepare yourself for what's next? If you're trying to do that, then I think Belichick is no doubt the option to be your coach, right? Maybe not. No, there's a lot of good coaches out there, but like you
would definitely consider.
You got Super Bowl rings on both hands. Like, oh, okay, well,
yeah. But how many guys are looking 3 years out? I mean, I feel like these players are looking like 1 year, maybe 6 months out.
Right? They're trying to capitalize on what's in front of them right now. Yeah, so that's fair. Right. So other perspective. Do you send your daughters to Carolina knowing Bill Belichick's out on the prowl looking?
No shot. Clearly, he has what the young ladies want. I mean, there's no shot. So no shot. I think the female enrollment goes down if Belichick goes to UNC.
A lot of kids from the New England area are going to be transferring down to Carolina. Yeah. So that's big news. That again, clearly no confirmation that anything's going to happen. But personally, I think it's just a hey, here I am. Don't forget about me, sort of thing. And just
I want a job. Yeah, I think you're right. I want a job. I'm going to take a job. NFL, give me a job, or I'm going somewhere to have a job next year.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And maybe the media's just been too much for him. So exciting times. So all right. So we'll continue to follow and track that story. And if he ends up in Carolina, that'll be a lot for us to talk about in the near future. We appreciate you guys listening today. Make sure you subscribe, follow, share this with other folks. We've had a lot of great feedback so far, and we appreciate that. Please make sure you interact with us in the YouTube comments as well. Love to see that interaction. And otherwise, have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Go Pack.